Hi guys, today we're going to be looking at comparing numbers. So let's have a look at our learning objectives for today. And we're going to have a look at being able to state the meanings of the 4 symbols that you can see on the screen. We're going to look at how we can demonstrate how to compare positive and negative numbers and different decimal numbers using some of those symbols. And hopefully by the end of the lesson, some of you will be able to explain to a family member or a friend a method for remembering which symbol means which definition, because that's really important. So let's have a look first of all at the meanings behind the 4 symbols. This is our first symbol, and I know you already know what this symbol means. Can you tell me? Yes, this is our equals symbol, and this means that the 2 things either side of the equal sign are the same. So this could be 2 numbers that are the same, 2 pictures that are the same, or even 2 equations. It doesn't have to be an answer, it just means the 2 things are the same value. So our next symbol, you might not have come across this one before. Hopefully it makes a bit of sense once you see it. But do you know what this symbol means? Yeah, good try. This is the not equal to symbol, okay, because it's an equals and it's got a line through it. Now we don't use this very often, but we do need to know what it means. So this means that the 2 things either side of the symbol are not the same. So it's usually that one is bigger or smaller, but it just means that they are not equal, they are not the same. So let's have a look at our third one. Now these are the ones people get a bit muddled up with usually. So do you know what this symbol means? Give it a try, can you tell me? Okay, let's have a look. Did you get it right? This means less than. So the number on the left is less than the number on the right. Now, you should have used these symbols before, I'm sure you have. But I just want you to have a think about what it means. I like to see it with a couple of eyes like this. Give him some little eyes. Give him some teeth and he becomes my crocodile. I'm sure you've seen this before. And the crocodiles are hungry people and they like to eat the largest number. So when you have your 2 numbers or your 2 equations, whichever one is bigger is the one the crocodile is eating. So that is my less than symbol, because the number on the left is less than the one on the right, so the one on the right is the one the crocodile wants to eat. So that leaves me with my final symbol, which is this one. And do we know what this one means? This is our greater than symbol. And again, I like to draw my little crocodile, give him a couple of eyes, 1, 2, pop, pop, and give him some scary teeth. And this time, because the number on the left is bigger, he's eating that one. That's why he's facing the opposite direction. So the number on the left is greater than the number on the right. So, in a second I'm going to ask you to pause the video. I want you to go onto the Jamboard that is called Task 1, Know Your Symbols. And I want you to use the pen function on the Jamboard to draw a line matching each symbol to its definition. So you're just drawing a line matching the symbol to the definition. Can you pause the video now? Brilliant. Okay, so now we've looked at the meanings of the different symbols, we're going to look at how we can use them. So I'm going to start with where we left off last lesson, and that is comparing decimals. Some of you did amazing at comparing decimals last lesson, and you did brilliantly at being able to choose the largest and the smallest decimal. And remember, just because a decimal is longer doesn't necessarily mean it is bigger. It's all about having the same number of places after the decimal point. So let's have a look at 3 examples. I've got a red, which is easy, an amber, which is medium, and a green, which is a bit tricky. So we're going to have a look at comparing these decimals using our crocodile clips, so using our less than and our greater than symbols. So the first one I've got is 0.2 and 0.9. So remember, that number after the decimal point is in the tenths column. So here on the left, I have 2/10. And here on the right, I have 9/10. So which one's bigger? If I've got 2 of them, or if I've got 9 of them, which one's bigger? Tell me. Yes, the 9/10 is bigger. So I'm going to circle this to say that I know that that is the bigger decimal. So now you need to use the right crocodile grip. So I'm going to look at my 2 crocodiles that I've got at the top of the screen, and I'm going to say I want the crocodile to eat the larger number. So I can see that this crocodile here on the right hand side is going to be eating my 0.9. So I'm going to put him in this box here. And I can see, just in black writing here, it says is less than. So my mathematical statement says that 0.2 is less than 0.9. And that is correct. 0.2 is less than 0.9. And that crocodile is eating the bigger number on the right hand side. Let's have a look then at my amber questions. Now, some people say these ones are much harder. I actually think this one's a lot easier, but we'll see what you guys think. So I have the number 3.23. 3.23, and on the right I have the number 1.79. So my question is, which one is bigger? So that number in the units column, the one before the decimal point, on the left is a 3 point something, and on the right is a 1 point something. So I'm hoping you're shouting at the screen that obviously 3.23 is bigger. So that's the one I'm going to circle. And now I've circled it, I can see which one I want my crocodile to eat. I want my crocodile to be eating the number on the left because that is the bigger number. So I'm going to take this one up here from the left hand side. I'm going to pop him in my box. And again, hopefully you can see the little bit of writing on there that says is greater than. So my mathematical statement says 3.23 is greater than 1.79, and that is correct. It is bigger than 1.79, and that's why the crocodile is eating it. Okay, the last one is the green one, and this is trickier. Just very quickly, can you tell your screen why the green question is the hardest out of all of them? Can you tell your screen? Yeah, so the green one's harder because I've got a different number of numbers or a different number of digits after the decimal point. This one is 1.2 and the one on the right hand side is 1.164. So if you remember, we use placeholders to make sure they have the same amount of numbers both sides. So this one's got 3 digits after the decimal point. 1, 2, 3. And this one's only got 1 number after the decimal point. So I'm going to put an extra couple of zeros in here as placeholders, just to allow me to compare those numbers a little bit better. So now I've got 1.200, almost like 1.200. And on the right here I've got 1.164, so it's almost like 1.164. So now they're equivalent in terms of their length. Which one is bigger? Which number is larger? Is it the 1.200 or the 1.164? Can you tell your screen? Yes, it's 1.200. The 1.200 is sort of a cheap way of saying it. And now I know that one's bigger, and this is what we were looking at last lesson, so I know some of you will be really good at this. I can use my inequality symbol. I can use my crocodile. So which one am I going to use? Which one is he going to eat? He's going to eat the one on the left, so I'm going to go for the is greater than symbol. And again, if I just look at the writing on my crocodile, I can see it says is greater than. So my mathematical statement says 1.200 is greater than 1.164. So in a second, I'm going to ask you to pause the video. I'm going to ask you to go to the Google form that is called Task 2, Comparing Decimals. This one comes in 2 sections. The first one is just asking you which is larger of the two decimals, practicing what we did last lesson. And then the second task is asking you to choose the correct symbol, the equal symbol, the less than symbol, or the greater than symbol. Can you pause the video now? Absolutely brilliant. Okay, I'm really looking forward to seeing your scores on those and seeing how well you've done. So the last thing we need to be able to look at then, using these same symbols, is comparing positives and negatives. So not just comparing decimals, but comparing positives and negatives. Now, we haven't done any work on negative numbers at the moment. So on the right-hand side of the screen here, you should be able to see that I've drawn a bit of a number line. And I haven't done all the numbers, because obviously they go on forever and ever. But I've started in the nice warm heat of 15. And then I've got colder and colder and colder and colder until I've got to 0, which is freezing. And then I've gone into my negative numbers, and that's why I've got my little snowflake at the bottom. So the reason I've put my number line like this, rather than across the screen like you might have seen before, is just to show you which are the bigger numbers and which are the smaller numbers. And I should be able to use that number line then to help me answer these questions. Again, red should be my easy question, amber should be my middly question, and green should be the most difficult. So let's have a look at what we've got here. The first one says 8 and 12. Now I'm sure you can do this without looking at a number line, but just to show you how the number line works, I can see that 12 is up here and 8 is a little bit lower. So I'm going to circle the bigger of those two numbers, which is 12. And then I can choose the correct crocodile. My crocodile needs to eat the larger number, so I'm going to use this crocodile up here from the right hand side. And my numerical statement says, or my mathematical statement now says, 8 is less than 12. And that's correct. 8 is less than 12. The next one, I've got -4 and 2. So again, I'm sure you'll be able to do this on the top of your head, but I'm just going to show you how to use the number line in case. -4 is all the way down here, below 0 in the cold temperatures. And 2, to be honest, is pretty cold as well, but it is above freezing, so it's a little bit further up here. So out of those two numbers, which one is bigger? Which one's higher? Which one's closer to the sun? Yes, it's number 2. So some people might have been caught out by that, because obviously the number 4 is larger, but -4 is not, it's smaller. So again, I need to use my crocodile clip, and I need my crocodile to be eating that bigger number, so I'm using this one on the right hand side, and my mathematical statement says that -4 is less than 2. And that's correct, -4 is lower down, is less than 2. My final statement, and this is the tricky one because it's 2 negatives on this one, and this really does catch people out because I know people struggle a little bit with negative numbers. So I have -5, which is here, and -7, which is here. So out of those two numbers, which one is closer to the sun? Which one is warmer? Which one is higher? Yes, -5. So that's the one I'm going to circle. So that means -5 is larger than -7. Do be careful with that because that does catch some people out. So this time I'm looking for my crocodile to be eating -5. So there he is up there. I'm going to bring him down, I'm going to put him in my box. And I'm going to read my mathematical statement. It says -5 is greater than -7. And that is the correct statement. So you need to start by circling the largest number, the one that's closer to the sun, and then you can use the correct symbol. So this brings us to the end of the video. So in a second, I'm going to leave you to it. I'm going to ask you to go on to our final Google form, which is called Task 3, Comparing Positives and Negatives. Same sort of principle as the last one we did, but instead of different decimals, there are positive and negative numbers. There is also an optional online game for you to have a go at, where you are answering questions to knock out some famous mathematicians. If you do have a go at that, can you screenshot for me your final score and upload that to the classroom so I can see if you've had a go and how you've got on? I look forward to seeing all your scores. Good luck.